Hooked On Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first. Hi, Chris Bungard, helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Now, over the last few weeks, a few years, few months, whatever you like, you've heard me mention soft bait fishing a lot. I've had a lot of questions. What is soft bait fishing? And that's a very good question, because I apologise for that in a way, because I sort of take it for granted that people know what soft bait fishing is, because I deal with it every day, use it regularly on a weekly, monthly basis when weather allows, and so do you, I dare say. But there's a lot of people out there who don't understand what soft bait fishing is. They hear me use the term soft bait fishing. Well, what is it? Well, basically, it's using exactly that, soft baits. What they are is they're an imitation bait, if you like. Some of them are made of protein, some of them are made of plastic, some are made of rubber and that sort of thing. So I thought I'd give you a quick spiel on just what soft bait fishing is all about. First thing is, you're using a very light rod, just something like this. A lot of them are two-piece, so you can break them down like that. They're a very light rod. In fact, when you first look at it, you'd probably think, okay, it's more designed for trout fishing and that sort of thing, but they have got quite a lot of power. As you can see, you can bend them down, that sort of thing. Now, the other secret is what sort of line you're using. Instead of using nylon, you're using braid. Now, the reason for that is that braid's got no stretch in it. If you use nylon to simulate a soft bait swimming in the water, you've got so much stretch in it. Even the best quality nylons, you've got about 10% of stretch. So if you've got, say, 50 metres out there when you cast, you've got 5 metres of stretch. If you move your rod tip 6 inches, your soft bait's probably not even going to move. Now let's see, before I go on with that one, I'll show you exactly what a soft bait is. Just bear with me here. You use a little jig head like that. It's just a little weighted head. It's got a reasonably large hook on it, and the hook is determined, the size of the hook is determined by the size of the soft bait. Now, your average soft bait is this little animal here. Now, you can see, hence the name soft bait. Basically what it is a soft piece of protein that imitates a fish. Now, what you're trying to do is, when you're moving this, I'll just put this jig head in here, you have the jig head in through his nose, in through like that, push his nose up against the weighted head like that. Now, basically, you've got that there. Now, when that's in the water, it wriggles. So I come back now to the nylon. What you're trying to do is get that to wriggle up through the water like that. So when you move your rod tip 6 inches, if you've got nylon on, your jig is really just going to sit there. It might move a wee bit. Now, with braid, because it's got no stretch, you move your rod tip 6 inches, the lure moves 6 inches. So what you do is, when you're winding the soft baits in, you bring your rod tip up and down as if you're tapping the top of a drum, just dink, dink, dink like that. Now, what that does is it makes the jig go up and down, and it simulates a wounded fish. It's got smell, it's got colour, it's got movement, and because it looks like a wounded fish, it excites the snapper, it induces them into striking, kingies, all sorts of fish. I think, to memory now, there's around about 30 different species of fish have been caught on a soft bait. So that's basically what a soft bait is. It's to simulate, to imitate a wounded fish, triggers them into excitement, bang, they catch it. Different methods of soft baiting, there's lots really. You can drift fish with them. So okay, if you're on the open sand, a very good area, say, is between Apido Bay and Great Mercury. You've heard me mention that a few times, and I've said to you, use soft bait fishing. Now what you're doing is you're dragging those along, and you have the hook coming out the top like that, so that when you're dragging that along the bottom, it's going to not get hooked up on the weed and that sort of thing, and it'll simulate a wounded fish dragging along the bottom. Now, areas like, as I say, Apido Bay there, where scallop dredges are working, they're stirring up the bottom, so you can cast these out and just drift fish with them along the bottom. Now, another good area is around whitewater, say around the Mercury Bay, Motiti, Mere, wherever there's whitewash coming in onto rocks. Snapper feed in that area there, because natural burley like kinner, mussels and all this thing live in that area there. They get disturbed by the wash coming in. Now, if you can drift your boat past some of this wash area, around about sort of 40 to 50 metres away, cast your soft bait in around that area, and then just jig it back towards the boat quietly like that, wind in a few turns, then jig, jig, jig with the top as if you're tapping a drum, as I mentioned before, wind a bit more line in, tap again. The old wounded fish comes out of the whitewater into the area where the snapper feed and lurk around these rocks, and bang, you'll be into it. They'll grab it, and it works really well. We had an area at Mere Island there where we were sort of targeting kingfish. Now, my sons were mucking around there. They had lures, they had jigs. We even had a livey out, and the kingies were coming in the burley troll. They just wouldn't touch it. We cast a soft bait out, give it a few jigs. Literally, I wouldn't have had the bail arm over 20 seconds. Bang, we caught the kingy. Quite a good fight too, and light gear like that. And that's another good thing about it. When you do get a hook up, you're fighting it with really light gear. So it's a lot of fun. It catches fish, and in fact, in the local contests now, and in our local clubs, there's probably as many snapper coming in on soft baits as there is on standard bait. So it's a phenomenon that is catching on. So I just hope that that little bit of enlightenment might help you understand when next time I suggest an area to go soft baiting, or it might give you a bit of a tip on perhaps your future fishing. Give soft baiting a go. It really does work. So I hope that's enlightened you a wee bit on next time someone talks about soft baiting, it'll help you a wee bit more. Okay, so this has been Chris Bungard helping you plan your fishing. Hooked on Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first.